Yo guys, Saga bringing you my draft analysis for the MLP Season 11. I'm in the Trace division of this league. This is my first time in this league and it's really my first step into major and bigger draft leagues on Discord. And I actually haven't really been in much like newer leagues recently. I've recently been playing just in like my main circles with people like Burin, Nick Nader, Galactic, Flying, people like that. I keep on playing them over and over again, and I want to go a bit, you know, I want to just practice a bit more, maybe challenge myself a bit more. So I signed up for the MLP and I got into the Trace division right away, which is pretty good because it's the first best division of the four. I could have also been placed in Analytic, which would be the lowest, so to say. But yeah, we're in the Trace division, as you can see right here. My logo is right there, isn't that cool? And yeah, there are 16 people in each division, and the way this draft works is a bit different than how I'm used to. And that's also what excites me about this draft. And I don't know anyone in my division, or like in this league in general, so I'm going to be playing some players I have never played before, and I'm hopefully going to have some good matches. So this is probably going to be the league I'm going to try my best for the most at the moment, so let's see if it can pay off. But yeah, how this draft works is that you have 120 points, if I recall correctly, to draft 9 to 12 months from tiers, and these tiers range from 18 points all the way down to 1 point. And one's like something random, like a rock and roll, that would be 1 or something. That's the first one that came up in mind, but alright. So yeah, going into this draft, I was the first in the draft order, which already means that I'm super close to the wheel, which means that I can usually just pick up 2 months pretty safely back to back, and that is super nice to be able to build your drafts around. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got that, really lucky with that. And going to this draft, I knew that I wanted to draft 12 Pokemon instead of 9, 10 or 11, because you can, if you've drafted 9 months, you probably have 9 stronger ones, but you don't have as many as some others. And while I don't have as many super high point mons, I still feel like I got mons that still are really good without being like, oh, it's like a something random like a Gloom or a Rock and Roll or something like that, you know. They're still like good and usable mons, and I have drafted a bit of mons that I know how to use. I decided to draft around some of those mons that I feel comfortable with. I think I have one mon on my team that I've never tried before, for example, so I'm not really experimenting that much. But yeah, it's also using the actual DLC and the fake DLC combined. So things like, out of the top of my head, Tapu Koko with Play Rough and Close Combat is allowed, but also moves like Dual Wing Beat, Skill Shot, Burning Jealousy. What else? Meteor Beam is, I think, another one. Goes on, the list goes on. I don't know at the top of my head, but yeah. Let's not keep you waiting any further, and I'll show you the team that I drafted, and it's also sorted in the order that I drafted them in. And yeah, so here it is. This is the team that we drafted, these 12 months together. I fucking love this team. No joke. I think this team looks amazing. Probably the best team I've drafted in a while, I want to say. And yeah, as I said, I have 12 months, and I don't think any of these months are bad at all. So I'm super surprised that I managed to be able to draft such a team while still having just good mons in general. While also adding the fact that there are teams with 10 and 11 mons in my division. No one in my division drafted 9, some others they did. And I'll be real, I think every team that has 9 mons is hard throwing and hard missing out, because you're missing so much versatility and type effectiveness. So yeah, I'm glad that I went with 12 months because it gives me so much coverage, so much versatility, more options, and I always like prepping with that. So yeah, as you can see, round 1, for the third pick in general, I went with Megalopony, which I guess I agree with what people said when I drafted, is that it isn't really a top 5 mon to draft in a draft league, especially ones that just allow DLC things, especially since like mons like Dragon Balls were still around, which is fair, I guess, but I knew that I wanted to draft around Megalopony because I wanted to try out Megalopony since it gets close combat in a user now. That seems fun for me to try out, and I haven't had Megalopony in a bit as well, and I know how to use it in general. So, and I knew that it wouldn't come back to me as well after having to wait 26 picks. I think it definitely would have been drafted by then. So I just locked it in, got myself Megalopony, and I'm glad I did because I love this one so much. It is so much fun. Fake out, quick stack, good priority right there. Scrappy, of course, you're hitting pretty much anything on your opponent's team for neutral damage, if not super effective damage, because you've got strong fighting type stab, you've got elemental punches, you've got U-turn now, and so yeah, you can maybe pass some agilities if you want to be funky. You can have power up punch, you can have fake out last resort, you can have thunder wave, bulky a bit. Triple Axel's new move at guess, that's also sweet. And yeah, it of course does miss both return and frustration, but we can use body slam because it's a DLC move, and I think there's of course facade, so we just still have options on the normal type front. But yeah, I can also run like Encore, let's see, Heal Bell, Healing Wish, things like this, Magic Code as well. So it still has a lot of options, while usually it just hits hard and it's fast, and that's why I like it so much. And I just wanted to try it out mainly because it now gets CC and U-turn, and it seems super fun to me. So yeah, I also just want to give a quick shout out to some of my boys that helped me draft this team, because I wanted to make sure that I drafted a team that is going to be good and I know how to use well. And I don't think there's like one mon on this team that I'm kind of doubting how I'll end up using, and that's really Crocodile, because I don't. I think I've drafted Crocodile once, and that was like a few years back. I don't feel like, if I recall correctly, I didn't like using it that much, and that's why I never really drafted it again. But gonna try it out here. Let's see how it works. But yeah, I want to give quick shoutouts to men like Patty, Flygon, Tess, Osha, Nick, DJ. Let's see who else is there. I'm forgetting so many names because I'm a dipshit. That's why. Pablo. Some boys, some homies of mine just helped me build, and I'm super thankful you guys did, because I think this team looks amazing. I think it's one of the top 3 teams drafted. I'll be real. If not top 3, definitely top 5. So yeah, I'm super happy with it. But yeah, next time I went with Gengar, because together Lopunny and Gengar just fucking tear teams apart, honestly. Gengar helps so much destroying fairy types for Lopunny, as well as Skarmory, which you get on later. But yeah, Gengar this gen gets Nasty Plot, and I haven't been able to try it out this gen yet with it. So I'm really curious how that'll go. Maybe some Nasty Plot substitute sets might run out, but I'll usually run like Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, maybe Life Orb. And yeah, I do like substitute though. It is of course not bulky at all, but has super sick coverage. Curse Body is a nice ability, and it's strong and decently fast. Yeah, and with Nasty Plot you can totally set up against like a normal type and potentially just break a team. So I liked it a lot, and I think they work together well. I went with Rioniclus next, because I wanted to make sure that I had a really solid fighting type switch in and a bulky psychic. I've drafted Megalopoly and Rioniclus before, and I've always thought that these two work so well together, helping each other out so much. And I like Rioniclus so much, I've drafted it so often. I think I've drafted it in 5 seasons of the FPL, and I think I won at least 4 of it. So that's something to consider. I think I franchised Rioniclus like twice in that league, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I like this model a lot. Of course, Calm Mind recovery is super good with like physical defensive if my opponent doesn't have Dark type or Steel type. Maybe just like Acid Armor will be super free. Has 3 amazing abilities, of course. Overcoat, Magic Card, and Regenerator. Definitely not going to sleep on those. And yeah, usually I'll just run it like physically defensive, or maybe like Trick Room, Life Orb, Magic Guard, or like AV Regenerator, things like that. Usually just a bulky pivot or just a hit hard, but also can knock off and Thunder Wave and set up. So yeah, I like this model a lot, and I think it again works really well together. And now next time I have Skarmory, a model that I haven't tried a lot this gen, like I don't think at all actually. And I went with it because this gen gets Body Press, and which is just such a solid move on this mon, honestly. But it also it's also going to be my spike stacker this season. Now, I don't have much for hazard removal, but I do have decent options for hazard setting. And Skarmory with spike setting combined with like Lopunny Gengar, that's just going to tear some fucking holes apart, dude. But yeah, I also thought it worked decently well with Rioniclus and Milotic later on as well. I think Milotic, no, that's on the right spot, yeah. So yeah, Skarmory, super cool mon. Maybe I'll run like a fun set once with like Swords Dance, Weak Armor, things like that. Or like Iron Defense, Body Press, yeah. But I like this model a lot. Spike, Stealth Rock, Stance, Still Wins, Roost, Toxic. This is like, I think this is one of the few mons that I struggle with having like a 5 or a 4 move slot syndrome. And I'm gonna hope that I'll be able to play around that, because I've used Skarmory before and I just like, oh, I want to fit Taunt on it, but I also want to fit Toxic on it, but I also want to have something so I don't get swept by like a substitute user, you know? I also want to be able to Whirlwind maybe, but Spike Stealth are still good and I need recovery, so it's like one of those mons that I wish I had 6 move slots on, but I don't. Yeah. Next up I went with Crocodile, because I wanted a stab knockoff user really, and my friend suggested Crocodile. Again, I don't have much faith with Crocodile honestly, but I trust my friends, they have good judgment, and it does what I wanted to do. It has a strong stab and a strong 2 stabs in both knockoff and earthquake, which I really want. In between scarfing, it stabs stealth rocks. Intimidate is just an ability you want to have, it's so good. And yeah, this gen gets direct or close combat as well, so that's sweet. But yeah, usually I'll just run a choice scarf or leftovers with like stealth rock, stance, EQ knockoff, things like that. And yeah, it's just in general decently bulky, not super bulky, but intimidate of course helps out a lot, and it has nice resistance naturally. So yeah, lovely typing, and I think it fits the team perfectly well. Even better if it could still pursue trap things, but it can't. So yeah, that's fine though. Moving on, I went with Rotom Frost. Now, there was the point in the draft that I get a few snipes. These 5 were originally on the plan, none of them got snipes, so I'm really happy with that. But I originally wanted Rotom Mo and Aromatisse. Now, Rotom Mo got snipes, so I had to go with Rotom Frost, which is a one that I've used before, and I like it a lot. This typing combination is so sweet because you've got both Stab, Bolt Beam, well, Thunderbolt and Blizzard, but still, that's super strong. It now gets Nasty Plot as well, might be able to break a few teams with that. And just being like Choice Scarf, full switch is just always nice. Doesn't really have many switch-ins this month, so that's also sweet. And yeah, it can also be bulky, so another D4 for the team as well, so I liked it a lot. And Levitate is also one of those abilities you always like having on a team. Just abilities in general that give you immunities or resistances are just so good in my opinion. But yeah, I'll likely just run the same like 7 moves in this month for the rest of the season, but it does its job. So that's all I really needed to do, really. So yeah, next one with Melodic, because I like Melodic so much. Another one I'm super comfortable with. And just looking at, if I were to put it like this, these are probably like my top 6 heavy mons, but I still have 6 super good mons right here. These things together just look disgusting to me. So when I saw that Melodic was still around, I knew that I wanted to go for that boy. And I haven't had it this gen yet, and this gen it got Dragon Dance, which is insane. And it also got Flip Turn, so we're getting some more options with Melodic, which I already was super comfortable with using. With like, I have run Coil, Flame Orb, Marvel Skill. I have run Marvel Skill Recover. I've run Choice Specs. I can now run Choice Scarf or Choice Band with Triple Axle as well. So this one is just super solid. Of course, it is super naturally bulky. I like this one a lot, and it's usually a status absorber as well, because you'll be running Flame Orb, Marvel Skill, which is just super sweet. I like this one a lot, and I think it fits perfectly on this team as well. So yeah, super happy with that. Next one with my Dragon type Neufern, but the main reason I went with Neufern, not because it's flying type, because I already have flying type in Skarmory, but because there's Infiltrator. Because some of my mons might be able to lack a bit against like substitute users. So my friend suggested I run like an Infiltrator mon or like a super strong Boom Burster, and well, technically Neufern does both. So yeah, super solid. I have used it this gen before, and I just got Dragon Dance this gen, so I do like that. Might run it like once or twice, but usually I'll run this one Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, maybe with Lifeable Roost or Defork Taunt, Toxic, things like that. But yeah, it's just strong and super fast, and I like that a lot. It has nice stabs, nice strong moves. So yeah, Neufern is just the one I like a lot, and keeps up a bit with the theme of having U-turn and full turn users, while also being strong and having utility abilities like Infiltrator and Frisk. So yeah, next one with Bromby. As I said, I originally wanted Aromatisse, but I guess I guess I didn't need Aromatisse because I was planning to go with Flareon, which is going to be my Wish Passer this season. But Ribombee is someone I'm, again, super comfortable with. I like Ribombee a lot, and I think it's slept on as a fairy type. I usually run this mon, Choice Specs, and solo Moonblast. I'll have like Moonblast, U-turn, Trick, and Defog, maybe Sticky Webs. Or run just Equivalent Set or Choice Scarf as well. But I'll run his Stick Webs here and there as well. But this mod is just super strong, honestly. Especially if you give it like a Pixie Pit or something like that, or Choice Specs as I said. And Shield Dust is a great ability. Make sure that I cannot get faked out. So I'm gonna have guaranteed webs in most cases. I think it is the fastest weapon in the game. Not 100% sure about that, but I think it is, and that's super cool. That's super sweet. And yeah, 124 speed is amazing. Another offensive mon for my Dragon Steel, but I like Romley a lot, and I think it'll do well on this team. Usually just pivoting or just heading hard with Moonblast or setting up webs. So yeah. Next up, I went with Flareon. Another one of my fire types that I draft a hell of a lot of times. But I think it just got better this gen because it now has the heavy duty boost option. But yeah, I like running Wish Protect, especially defensive Flareon. That's probably my favorite set on this thing. But still, Toxic Orb Facade is still super strong in this thing, especially if you're running Guts. You would run Guts. You have no reason not to run it. But yeah, get Scorching Sands this gen, so that's nice. Other than that, I'll usually just run, like, as I said, either a bulky Wish set or just Toxic Orb. It does that really well, and whenever I bring it, my opponents will have to predict whether it is going to be one of those sets. That's nice. And if they predict wrongly, I might be able to put in some decent work with Flareon, either breaking holes or passing wishes. So yeah, I like Flareon a lot, and it was super cheap. I think it was either 3 or 4 points, and the same goes for Lycanroc, which was 4 points if I recall correctly. Super fucking cheap, because this one became a monster coverage wise. Because right away, I already liked this one a lot, and I've had Lycanroc and Lovely on the same team before, and I think that was the first season I actually became champion of. I think it was PCL season 4 or 5. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. Jesus Christ, dude. But yeah, No Guard is such an amazing ability for a rock type, because you can just click Stone Edge without having to worry about a single fucking thing. But it also gets Stomach Tantrum, it gets Fire Fang, it gets Elemental Punches, it gets Play Rough, it gets Psychic Fang, Lash Out is a new move. That can also be Bulk or Sword Stance, Sucker Punch. This one is honestly super good, and his speedster isn't that bad, in my opinion. It's super strong. Usually I'll either run it like a Stealth Rock lead, like Stealth Rock Taunt, Stone Edge, or I'll bring it, honestly, just Choice Band. But Sword Stance, if I'm running, if I'm fighting against like a relatively bulky team, it's super solid to break holes as well. To break walls. Break walls, punch holes, that's what I want to say. So yeah, I like this one a lot, and that was super cheap, so just picking some super cheap mons, I managed to pick this team, which honestly doesn't have a bad mon on it at all. So I'm super glad with that. And last but not least, ow, wow, my speaking is not good, my speech. Last but not least, I went with Trevenant, because I needed a grass type, and I didn't have many options left anymore, so I went with Trevenant, a mon that I've never tried before, but I've recently seen used with like Harvest, Citrus Berry, and it looks fun to use, so maybe I'll be able to run it a few times. But for sure, Harvest is an amazing and fun ability to use. It also gets Natural Cure, which is sick, but Frisk is also nice, and it can set up Trick Room. So we do have options there, and now it gets Pulse Guys, so it is not weak at all, but it's also not super bulky. So yeah, it might come here and there, just nice typing, being able to switch in here and there, but yeah. We'll see how that ends up. But this is the team that we have. We got 12 months in a season where people might have 10 or 11. So, I think that this team is super fucking solid. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm super curious to read what you all think. And maybe if you've got some feedback, I might be able to change my team on that. But I'm running with this for the season, for the time being. And yeah, I've already played my week 1 match, which was against Josh and the LA Jirachis. It was a really good match. You should make sure that you check that one out. It goes up in a week. I'll have actually scheduled uploads for this league, because I want to have a consistent upload scheme for this league, to highlight this league a bit, you know. So yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out again to the front office that helped me build this team, build this draft, and is helping me build teams as well, and mock battles here and there. I also want to give shout outs to the commissioners and the people who run the MLP and for having me in. I'm hoping to have a really fun season. Hopefully I'll be able to make it to playoffs, show that I'm good enough to maybe go up a few divisions, and maybe with this experience I might maybe be able to make it into more higher up Discord leagues. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to make a climb with this. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are excited for this season as much as I am, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, it's also very appreciated. And I'll see you all next week with our week 1 match against the LA Jirachis, Josh. I'll see you all then. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.